Okay. Good afternoon, Prof. Good afternoon, my fellow classmates. We are Group 32, and we will represent our research on financial accounting and reporting practices in 12 Zambian SMEs across Lusaka and Jipata. So my name is Lillian Mtambala, student number 2026-109414, and I will handle task A1 on business profiles. So our sample included a diverse mix of businesses. 6 were micro enterprises with fewer than 10 employees operating as sole proprietorships. The other 6 were small to medium enterprises with 10 to 54 employees, including private limited companies and partnerships. Key factors represented were logistics, construction, retail, IT services, hospitality, and agriculture. The most important finding, a clear divide. Micro enterprises like Amenadale Mom and Baby Staffs operate informally with owners handling everything. Medium enterprises like Torius Agencies and HDC Tracking have formal structures, qualified accountants, and comprehensive systems. This divide sets the foundation for everything you will hear next as I pass on to my next colleague to handle task A2. Thank you, Prof, and thank you, colleagues.
Thank you. My name is Taja Simtoy, presenting task A2 on financial record keeping systems. The divide my colleague mentioned becomes more clear here. Among the 6 large SMEs or employed qualified accountants, Chiwe Tech Solutions uses QuickBooks, Multiport Logistics uses Encounter, HDC Tracking uses Pearldine, Roverline Marketing uses Sage. They prepare full financial statements monthly or quarterly, including income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements. Among the 6 micro enterprises, the story is different. Amanadale Mom and Baby Staff uses a netbook for a cash book and staff receipts in envelopes. Kimi Tech uses Excel sheets. Chikonto Fish Hatcheries relies entirely on manual records. None use accounting software, none prepare formal financial statements. The result, poor financial visibility and high risk of errors. I now pass to my colleague for task A3. Your mic is muted.
Yeah, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, colleagues, and also thank the professor. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kennedy Limata. I'll take you through task A3, and this complies of the accounting principles. So I'll be presenting on the task 3, and the application is on the basic accounting principles. So as a team, we assessed 5 principles, and these are accrual accounting, separation of entities, going concern, consistency, and prudence. The largest gap was in the separation of entities between the large and the small SMEs. And the large SMEs like Chiwe Technical and Torius Agencies, these ones strictly separate business from their personal finances. But the smaller SMEs, which are called micro enterprises like Amedia and Chikunto, these ones, they mix everything, inclusive their personal and business accounts. So this makes true profitability impossible to determine. So on the accrual accounting part, the larger SME recognize revenues when earned and expenses were incurred. But the micro enterprises use cash-based accounting, recording only when cash changes hands. This obscures their true financial position. The going concern assumption is applied by all, but the large SMEs document if formally, while micro enterprises simply imply it's through continued operation. I now pass to my colleague for task A4. I thank you.
Thank you, Kennedy. My names are Evelyn Nyambo, student number 20, 26, 16, 68, 27, presenting task 4 on compliance with accounting standards and regulatory requirements. So again, we see a clear divide. We can see that from what my colleagues have presented and what we have in the report, larger SMEs are fully compliant with ZRIA filing monthly VAT returns and remitting payee and submitting accounts income tax return using proper financial statements. They maintain current PACRA regulations and regular NAPSA contributions. They also follow the IFRS for the SMEs or Zika standards. While on the other hand, the micro enterprises tell a different story. They are registered with ZRIA and PACRA, but the annual filing often lapses. We look at these micro enterprise, we can see that the income tax returns use estimated figures and not proper financial statements. NAPSA payments are irregular and most have no awareness of the IFRS for SMEs and do not prepare financial statements aligned with the formal standards. So this results to larger SMEs facing regulatory complexity as the main challenge, and the micro enterprise faces the risk of penalties and missed opportunities because they are not fully compliant with the formal standards. So at this stage, I'll now pass it on to my colleague to take us through tax A4. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evelyn. My name's Mwila Chisanga, and I will be taking you through how financial statements are used in decision making. So you notice from our report some most powerful examples, and you also notice from our report that larger SMEs use financial statements daily. Chiwetek, for example, analyzes margins to adjust pricing. Multiport Logistics evaluates vehicle acquisitions using financial reports. Izini Pub and Grill analyzes income statements showing drink sales higher than food sales and decided to expand the bar area first. Sorry about that. But the best example came from Roverline Marketing Logistics. The company was offered a 3.5 million vehicle asset financial facility, and instead of accepting the same, they analyzed the financial position, recognized the risk of overtrading, and rejected the offer. The decision likely prevented financial distress. Micro enterprises, however, do use formal financial statements. Owners rely on basic cash tracking and informal budgets. They cannot accurately evaluate profitability, control costs and effectively, or plan for growth with confidence. The absence of structured analysis limits their capacity to grow. I will now pass on to my colleague for the final task.
Thank you very much for that, Mwila. Good evening, Prof. Good evening, colleagues. I'm going to present on the challenges and recommendations. My name is Ben Banda, student number 2025-2190-47. So from what has already been presented, we identified clear challenges for each group. Micro enterprises face lack of accounting knowledge, time constraints, cost barriers, and poor documentation. 9 of 12 SMEs cited lack of knowledge, 8 cited time constraints, 7 cited cost barriers. Larger enterprises face different challenges: regulatory complexity, staffing constraints, software limitations, and reconciliation difficulties. Now, our recommendations. For micro enterprises, we recommend 3 immediate actions. The first one being to open a separate business bank account today. And then the second one, adopting free accounting software like Wave. The third one, they need to attend basic financial literacy training. Whilst for larger enterprises, we recommend an ongoing IFRS training for staff, exploring software upgrades, hiring additional finance staff during peak periods, and conducting quarterly internal audits. Across all enterprises, the message is consistent. Separate finances, adopt appropriate technology, and strengthen documentation practices. These practical improvements can transform financial management and support sustainable, robust growth for the business. I will now hand over to the moderator.
Thank you. So in conclusion, our research reveals a clear divide in financial practices among Zambian SMEs. Larger enterprises with formal systems achieve better compliance and decision-making. Micro enterprises need basic, low-cost interventions. Targeted support can strengthen financial management across the sector. Thank you very much for your attention, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much, Prof. And this is where we end our presentation. Thank you.